no.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Fortress of Comic News, episode 422. I am one of your hosts, Chris, alongside my co-host here, Mike. What's going on, Mike?
This is the episode I thought you weren't going to wear a hat. I was like, yeah, his hair's looking pretty good. What? The Waluigi hat, is this what is going on here?
My main man, Waluigi. I mean, I got
oh my god. Can I talk about Waluigi? Every time I play against my buddy Steve in Mario Kart, he always picks Waluigi.
He's a smart man.
And nothing makes me more mad in the world. I guess for any of the Mario Party stuff too. Nothing makes me more mad in the entire world than playing and also losing to Waluigi. I don't know why, but I think it's just gangly fucking legs, and he's just a bastard. Anyways,
he's just the man. I was up in my local GameStop and I saw this hat and I was like, well, I need to own this hat.
That's so. I wanted you to be like, oh yeah, it's from Halloween. No, they just are currently selling that hat at GameStop right now.
Yeah, it was there, and I was like, it needs to be in my possession.
That is absolutely amazing. Awesome. I was like,
my favorite part of this is now every clip for the next week is going to be me with this fucking hat on, and
everybody's gonna be like, "What happened to the show? I thought they talk about comics. What the fuck?" Yeah, no interview today, folks. So we're just gonna shoot the shit and talk about all the amazing trailers. Well, one amazing trailer we got this week.
Yeah.
I have been playing through some Final Fantasy VII, the remake. I don't know if did you ever
remake or Rebirth?
Well, oh man, whatever the first one's called, because they split
remake,
it. Yeah, that was the really confusing part to me. Somebody had explained, because they're like, you should play the remake. I go, okay. Then I bought the remake, and then I saw Rebirth, and they're like, well, that's the second half of the remake. I said, why didn't they just say part 1, part 2?
Because it's going to be 3 parts, Mike.
What the hell's the third part going to be called? Rewind?
Reimagined.
Reimagined.
Riri Williams, probably.
Re-spend your money for the third time. We're not going to get $60 from you. We're not going to get $80 from you. We're going to get $180 for one game.
Yeah. Well, and then for the PlayStation people, let's see. It went from 60 to 70, so that's 130. We're looking at possibly 80 for the next one. So at least 200, if not 210. Add in tax.
That's why I waited for it to go on sale for $15 this week, and now I'm playing.
That's been my move recently. Yeah,
the patient gamer is what I've slowly become.
Outside of my Nintendo games, so
yeah.
No use waiting on those.
Have you ever played Final Fantasy games?
Oh yeah.
Okay. This this is a lot of. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I got about 10 hours into it. So
I've played 7. Many times. I gave up on 8 because it's hot garbage.
I've heard it's garbage.
I've played 9, 10, 10-2. I was like an early person in 11, but never stuck with it. That was the first MMO.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually never played 12, but I want to. I gave up 20 hours into 3 or 13 because I got sick of running down the same hallway over and over again.
Yeah.
Never played 14, which is the second MMO. Never played 15 and beat 16, but 16 might be like my end point with Final Fantasy.
Yeah, you're just over it.
So I like Dragon Quest more personally.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
I like the turn-based, like traditional style.
Yeah, they're going away from that now, right?
And I love video game people. I listen to a lot of video game podcasts. Like, to get all fucking nerdy about like Final Fantasy was never turn-based, just shut the fuck up. Like, we all understand what that means. I get that some of them were active time battles and all that bullshit, but when we say, we know what that means.
Yeah.
So I like Dragon Quest for that reason. And now that Final Fantasy's come all the way around and it's just Devil May Cry.
Yeah, that's really what it's become. Yeah.
I'm just like, much, so it's not what I want.
And it's more like Kingdom Hearts, I guess. It's literally the same battle system as Kingdom Hearts. At least that's the way I feel about the new 7.
Kind of, but
yeah, you like cast spells and shit.
I like Kingdom Hearts, but I like Kingdom Hearts for a different reason than I like Final Fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I want Final Fantasy to be an RPG.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's funny because we talked about the crossover with Magic the Gathering and Final Fantasy this
Which,
year.
by the way, quick
Yeah.
interlude on.
Uh-huh.
I've been getting a lot of ads about that.
Oh
like,
yeah, they're heavily
on my
pushed.
TV.
Oh, on your TV?
Yeah.
Really?
Like commercials, full on commercials about it.
That's crazy. I haven't seen any of those. It is the highest selling set already, I think, and we're still like 2 weeks out from release.
Does not shock me. Like all the video game podcasts I listen to, they've all been buying in on it. Like,
oh,
people
dude,
are
and
hyped.
it's like, well, they've only made they have these special Chocobo cards if you're a Final Fantasy person that they've only made 77 of out of the entire print. Which they're like, well, why'd you do 77? Well, Final Fantasy VII. It's like, well, you could have done 777 if you just wanted 7. Like, and it still would have been, but having only 77 is kind of silly. But they've released a lot of cards. They've only spoiled less than half for the last couple weeks. And not knowing a lot about the other Final Fantasy games, like they spoiled something from 8 this week that was like a UFO. So it was like a UFO picking up a pyramid. So now they've added like aliens to the creature types, and everybody like talking in the Magic community is like, what is Final Fantasy about? Because they made a cup of ramen a card. They've like, I don't know how we got from Cloud with a Buster sword, this dude with a giant sword, to like a cup of ramen, and now we have aliens. It's like, well, it's more of an anthology series than it is anything else. But
those are people who never played, because 15 is literally the Backstreet Boys on a fucking car ride.
Yeah, driving around. I played that one for a while, and I was like, okay, I'm really bored of driving around.
That was like my first where I'm like, I don't know if I like Final Fantasy anymore, or what it's becoming.
Yeah.
And then I beat 16. I was just like, I finished it, and I'm like, I hit one button this whole game.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyone like, and that was the big thing with 16 is everybody's like, oh yeah, like it's we deep rooted fantasy again. Because dude, 7, the most popular and the best game of the entire series, is hard sci-fi.
It is. Oh, for sure.
Like,
yeah, it's dystopian. It's
yeah, it's dystopian. It's futuristic. It's basically Star Wars without the lightsabers. Like, yeah. So it's funny to me when people are like, "What is this?" It's like, I get it. Like, you're on the outside looking in, but you just haven't been paying attention. Like, it's been this way forever.
yeah.
That was a big thing with 9 too. When 9 came out, it was a return to like fantasy.
Yeah,
that's why a lot of people say that's like the underrated of those 3.
I love 9. 9's got my boy VB in it, who they're making a card, and they made him a really strong card, busted in the.
He should be.
Yeah, I'm so pumped for that. And then, just to wrap up all the video game talk, did you buy, talking about patient gamers, but did you buy the new Doom this weekend?
No.
I'll probably wait for that. Just because Doom, I literally grind it in like 8 hours and then I put it down and never touch it again. I'll probably wait for that one to go on sale.
Yeah, that one I might, when I like go do I'll do like a 3 months of Game Pass. And just play through a bunch of stuff on there for, while it's still cheap.
Yeah.
That would be on that list.
That's a good idea. If it's on Game Pass, yeah.
I'm almost done with Last of Us Part 2, though.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I played pretty hard, and I looked it up, and I'm like, okay, I'm near the 3rd act.
Cool.
Which is where it really starts to just, like, rumble downhill and close up.
Awesome. All right, I guess we'll talk about some of the TV news here. This has been really funny. So, I also love that we have an NPR article.
Before we jump into the news, too.
Yeah.
It arrived, Mike.
Oh, yeah, I saw this.
My boy.
This is, for all of you audiophiles, that is a Rom the Space Knight action figure. Is he holding a Rom comic book?
He is, indeed, holding.
Oh my god.
Rom #1.
That looks way too good.
It's so good, dude. I
guess I never realized he has, like, stripper boots on.
Oh, yeah. This is straight out of the 80s, man.
Yeah, he's literally got, like, stripper high boots.
Look at that chest plate.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Dude,
that is amazing. And the comic book, I kind of want one now. I need to see if I can find one. That's amazing. I'm so glad that it actually got made.
It's pretty great. And it's funny because they're made by the same people that make all the Star Wars figures. So they're like, he's to scale with the Star Wars and Marvel figures.
Oh, nice.
And he's like a good inch or two taller than all of them.
Yeah,
that's great.
That's awesome. I'm so glad. I'm so happy for you that that's a thing now. Um, this has been really funny. So Max has announced that they're changing their name back to HBO Max because if you say something, I mean, because I don't know about you, Chris, but I think me and everybody else that I talked to about, we always say HBO Max. Or when you say Max, you say HBO, or I won't say just Max. It just doesn't make sense. So they're changing the name back, and if you go on their they're changing back to HBO Max. But if you go back on their Instagram and all their social medias, they posted like 45 memes about it, and they're all like hilarious. It's really good marketing. I mean, they're kind of owning up. This is like one of the first times I've seen a company like admit that they fucked up, and like besides like I mean, like a big corporation be like, yeah, this wasn't great. We're gonna roll it back. Like, I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, from the beginning, this was befuddling. Like,
Yeah.
I get you want it to be the Warner Brothers all-in-one app, and that's what it was supposed to be. But you have a brand like HBO that's like synonymous with quality.
Mm-hmm.
It's for the comics people out there, we always talk about Mad Cave and how you and I feel like whenever they announce something, it has that like stink of quality on it. And that's one of the things that impresses us. HBO has that same thing. Like HBO comes out with a new show, and while like I have my issues with like Game of Thrones, and I'm sure someone has an issues with this show or that show. There's a air of quality to that brand name. That quality does not. When you go down what Warner Brothers owns, that's it. Like, they've got National Geographic is probably right underneath there, but that has an audience, a specific audience, and then you start going like CNN, Cartoon Network,
right?
And I'm not even trying to make a political statement there. Just like go down, like there's not that same quality measure for all the stuff that they have. So why wouldn't you want everything under an HBO banner?
Right. Because everybody's like HBO's the best. Yeah.
And now we're back to a point where they corrected the wrong, and good on them for doing that.
And like making the memes is a fun way to do it, I guess. And
they've got somebody smart in their social media that's putting memes out there. So
this is pretty exciting. I keep forgetting like this isn't a meme, but we got a first look at Nicolas Cage and the new Spider Noir series coming to MGM Prime and Prime Video. And it looks amazing. So the screenshot they posted is Nicolas Cage. It's like Sin City style. Nicolas Cage in the Spider Noir costume. We think it's Nicolas Cage. I don't know.
I was gonna say that's 100% not Nicolas Cage. But...
Yeah, it's some other guy, and he's just doing the voice. But he's doing the Spidey web slinging hand gesture. So it looks awesome. I'm just excited that this is actually going to become a real thing.
Yeah, it looks really great. I will give them total props that, like you said, it looks like Sin City. It has it's the black and white with those deep, the deep contrast and how they do the black and white. It's not like your traditional black and white. It feels, just from that image, I get the feel of a noir series. Yeah. So, coming out the gate with a banger on this one image, and it got me super excited for it because I felt like this could have easily been fucked up.
Just think about like Nicolas Cage's legacy in comic books, right? He starts out, he's got the Superman gig, never happens. Then he gets, okay, well, maybe I could still touch some comics. He gets into Kick-Ass, plays Big Daddy, in Kick-Ass, and then now he's like under main property. I guess he did the voice right in
Into the Spider-Verse.
It's like okay, I did something fun. Now he's literally, he's a main character in a show all about Spider Noir, which is like, it's insane. It's just wild that this is a thing.
He has the craziest career of anybody in Hollywood. Like,
I'll watch anything with Nicolas Cage in it. I really will. Like, he has like he's got movies that are like 2 on Rotten Tomatoes and like 90s. He just doesn't give a shit.
Because he swings for the fences.
Yeah, he just any pitch thrown at him, he's good. So.
For me, the most stunning part of this story was figuring out as I was like reading and trying to like actually write up the notes for the show that there's a website called aboutamazon.com.
Yeah, which is wild. Just them. It's like, we have so much stuff coming out. Let's make a website about the stuff coming out.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Just because I'm pretty sure it's designed like an Amazon site, so I'm pretty sure, like you said, it's internally owned.
Yeah, it's from Amazon for sure. Yeah. Of course it is. And it's probably like just generates articles when something about Amazon gets posted.
Probably.
Okay. Yeah, Marvel Studios released their first trailer for the upcoming Ironheart one shot. Now, is this one shot? Is this like a one shot episode, or
it's like what they're gonna do with the Punisher. It's like a mini movie.
A mini movie. Okay.
A made for TV movie.
Okay, so yeah,
roughly an hour long, probably.
So I watched the trailer. Number one, I forgot this was even happening. We talk about it every so often, but wow, that trailer, it didn't catch me much, and the CGI looks really bad. It just, I mean, it doesn't look like. So I watched Thunderbolts this week, and it doesn't have that like quality of Thunderbolts. It doesn't even have that quality of like the other TV shows. It doesn't seem to have it. And it's not something I really care about. So I don't know what you think about it, but
it feels like a thing that they said they were going to do, and they like stubbornly had to do it.
Yeah,
where this could have quietly been just canceled.
Mm-hmm.
I think the biggest problem here is they've done so little to justify Riri's character's existence inside the MCU.
Yeah,
you could have built her up more to get to a point where she deserved her own thing.
Right.
She showed up in one movie.
Yeah.
Maybe two, but I'm pretty sure just one. And her time in that movie was forgettable. That, in my eyes. And this just looks like it was thrown together at the last second just to do something.
Yeah.
I'm not excited about this at all. I will probably end up sitting down and watching it at some point. But yeah, it's one of those things. Like, the character in the comics has been forgotten about.
Yeah, that's true. They haven't done much with her, right?
A little bit, one shot here. Like, they just came out with one shot recently because of this.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, I couldn't tell you last time she popped up. Now, I don't read every Marvel comic, so there's that. But it's not like anybody I know is talking about her. Yeah, it just, I don't get it. I don't get why you would. You're climbing yourself back up the MCU. I feel like they've been slowly doing better and better and stuff. Even for somebody that's been really enjoying it, I've noticed that the quality's gotten better and better.
Mm-hmm.
And this.
Yeah. This looks like a step back.
Yeah. It looks like a bad version of Iron Man 1. Like, they're trying to remake Iron Man 1, but they didn't put any effort into it.
It almost looks like, I was like, maybe it looks like CW to me, but it almost looks like a fan film or something.
Yeah,
a little bit of a step up maybe from a fan film. I don't know.
You pulled out a screenshot from it that I didn't even notice, and it looks like bad Photoshop.
Yeah, it looks really bad.
So
I just don't know what to think, but
we will just have to see. But I'm not holding my breath that it's gonna be anything worthwhile.
Yeah, let's talk some movies. So I watched just at the front of this. I watched Thunderbolts this week. Really liked it. Fantastic Four post-credit scene was amazing. Was really excited for that. Yeah, I think in general, like you said, there wasn't that big smashy fight. But that was all right to me. I think like the wonkiest like part to me at the end was, they all come back from this like negative universe thing, and then the press and everybody is already waiting outside the building. That it was like, okay, well, if everybody just got blipped away, where was everybody? But I mean, that's comic book science, right? So
that's the power of Elaine Bennis.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, all the characters are great, and this was like, to me, this was a few steps up from the last Captain America movie. So I was really excited to see that. Even like the action and the just the shots and everything. No, I was really happy with it. And then, saying that Fantastic Four coming in from another planet or another dimension or something, so that was cool. Yeah, I'm excited for Fantastic Four now.
I'm excited for July.
Yeah, July's going to be good.
Yeah.
And I guess we'll just talk Superman because that's the other thing happening in July. DC Studios' upcoming Superman movie has a bunch of toys coming, and while most showcase characters and moments we've seen in the trailer, there's one possible spoiler. The toy in question is in the Fortress of Solitude set that features Superman and Krypto, with the entrance of the Fortress of Solitude and a giant Yeti, which is awesome.
So outside of the spoiler part of it, the first set of them they put out, what I thought was funny is it's Superman and the kaiju.
Yeah, giant kaiju slime battles.
So you can reenact your favorite kaiju battle.
Hell yes.
I kind of want a helicopter Krypto.
Yeah, the helicopter Krypto. He actually flies. Like, what the hell? That is so funny.
And then to get to the quote unquote spoiler, which, to be fair with this, it while they're official toys, it's not like it's DC making or McFarlane making them or anything. So a lot of times these toy makers just like put something together because they're like, yeah, kids want to see Superman fight a giant Yeti. So I think it's a cool image. I don't know if this will be in the movie or not.
Yeah, sometimes they just pair stuff with. Well, it's funny because on the article I don't even see it anymore. So if they removed it, then it might.
If you go to the second article, that's what.
There's a second article there. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
It almost looks like so in the image they show Superman and Krypto fighting the Yeti and like his arm pops up off and everything. It's really weird.
Yeah.
It could be that he has this Yeti as a friend and like they protect the fortress or something. I don't know, but I almost think this is just a toy they made for toy's sake. Yeah. I don't see this being in the movie. It doesn't seem to fit what we've seen so far of it. And we can talk more about that in a minute. But
I mean, yeah, and Fortress of Solitude always has like a collection of things from other worlds too. So maybe there's a Yeti.
Maybe there's a Yeti in there. Maybe that's part of the movie. Is that because we see somebody break into the fortress?
Yeah.
So maybe they break in and let everyone loose. That's part of the zoo that he has there. Maybe.
Oh, that's true.
I guess there's a possibility of that. Yeah, you're right.
But also, like, I mean, in DC universe, Yetis could be a thing, right? We have superheroes. Why not? Why not an abominable snowman? Why not?
There's a Frankenstein monster, like
true,
and a not so talking weasel.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, not so doesn't talk that much. If there's a Yeti, I'll be excited. If there's not a Yeti, I'll still be excited. It'll be all right. So now we can talk about that. They released like a new trailer, and I would say probably the official trailer.
Probably the one you'll see in movie theaters up until the release. Yeah.
And it starts off with this interview between Lois and Clark as Superman. Pretty like you can see him go from like Clark to Superman kind of in the interview, like his the way he voices himself and stuff. And I've been reading a lot about this film the past few months, and I guess like the original edit of the movie, there's this like 10-minute long interview with Lois and him that they said they kept in the movie, just 10 minutes of them chatting back and forth. And they kept it because they both have such good, the actors have such good chemistry together, and it's like a fantastic scene. And just from the snippet we get at the front of the movie, I mean, yeah, it looks really good. I think them like, playfully going back and forth is cool, but then like challenging him on like, yeah, dude, you can't just go to another country and do what you want. There's consequences and people don't take kindly to that. So, we're starting off kind of serious. It's almost like James Gunn is like, listen, we can do a serious Superman movie, but it also can be fun and have heart. And that's kind of all the things you see in this trailer, right?
Yeah. I like the interview portion, like, and having Lois be like a hard-nosed journalist is important. Yeah. For her character. We see a lot of the same in terms of like Superman fighting people and all this. I guess the new we can talk about. Do you know who that villain is that Lex is walking around with?
With the girl with like the razors?
Yeah.
I don't know, and I'm almost wondering if it's Mercy that his like assistant. That's like the reimagining of her. I don't know. I don't know who she's actually playing.
Maybe. I mean, it was hard because I was looking up earlier.
Is it listed as anybody?
Everybody keeps talking about Ultraman, and because they see the guy with the U and all that. I get that. That's exciting. I'm here for that. Let's see. It's the engineer.
Oh, okay, yeah, the engineer. Okay,
yes,
yeah. So that's a character from Wildstorm, I think.
It says created by Warren Ellis and Brian Hitch.
Is that Wildstorm universe? Yep.
That's why I don't know it that well.
Yeah. And she usually looks all metal. She doesn't look like that. She's usually like shiny and silver. So okay.
Okay.
I forgot they're putting Wildstorm shit in this.
I didn't think they were putting Wildstorm shit in this, but here we are.
They're really trying to make it. They're trying to make it popular again. But
Jim Lee is in charge of DC, so
yeah, of course. So I want to see what the reveal is going to be of the guy who we think is Ultraman with the big U on his chest, because they're doing the whole Black Noir thing where, like, if you're going to make him Ultraman, why wouldn't you just give him another super suit? Unless, like, the final act of the movie, he's got like he's got like this Ultraman red and blue suit on. Because we don't see a lot of the fighting. There's a lot of fighting going on in the air where he's like getting knocked out of the air, but we don't see the villain at all. So maybe there's some sort of reveal, or it could be Bizarro.
My first instinct was it's going to end up just being Bizarro, and a Bizarro created by Lex, probably. I just don't see Ultraman going along with Lex's big plan, or anybody's big plan, and working for the government. Like, he's pure chaos.
Right.
I could see it being a hint towards them doing, like, maybe when they eventually do a Justice League movie of some sort, or some sort of crossover, that being the big reveal that, Earth 3 and all that.
That'd be sick.
Fuck yeah, please do that.
Please do Earth 3. Oh my god. Yeah.
I don't feel like it's going to be Ultraman. I don't feel like you do Ultraman in the first movie to kind of kick off your big universe. And with so much going on in this movie, I think it'd be a mistake to throw that in. I could
see them being like, Lex is saying he's Ultraman, and then like the mask comes off and he's a dumb looking Bizarro. It's all for branding, right? Like,
possibly.
Yeah, something like that in the movie, which would be interesting.
And then maybe a stinger for this movie or down the line is, Ultraman seeing what happened and being like, they sullied my name or something.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So like we see the Element Man. We see
caged up in some way.
Caged up, yeah, they're all caged up. All these metas are like caged up. We see some action with Guy Gardner, which looked pretty dope. We see some action with the T-spheres. So
he literally backhands somebody with his but he uses his ring to create a hand to backhand somebody.
Yeah, that shot alone is like, this is already better than any of the Green Lantern shit we've seen in live action, right? I'm just super excited. The little quips of all the characters.
Yeah. Mr. Terrific and the giant T-sphere.
Yeah. And someone and from what I saw as a rumor is like this goes through like a week in Superman's life. So like it's each one's a different day or something like that, which if that's the way they handle it, that's pretty cool too. Like, it's every day is a different thing going on where we get glimpses into his life kind of thing. But yeah, I think and seeing more of the guy who's playing Superman, I think his acting range is pretty good. I think he's got good chops, and I don't need to see any more trailers after this. That's it. So even if they release,
I feel like this is the final trailer. Like, it's gotta be. It was a big trailer. It showed a lot. Yeah.
And seeing Lex getting to talk a little bit was kind of cool. I think he might even steal the show. We're not seeing a whole lot of his scenes, but that actor is really good. So.
I just have an issue. I've had this since trailer 1. He would never call his company Luthor Corp.
Oh yeah, which is weird.
Like, it's LexCorp, and it's important because it shows
that it's his company.
How vain Lex is that he won't even give his family name to the company.
Well, I guess that's a question that, like, maybe he's not running it in the movie. Maybe he's like, it's still owned by his mother or something.
Maybe.
You know? Yeah, that would be an interesting twist too. Yeah.
But yeah, for me, that needs to be explained. It's not going to kill the movie for me, but
Right.
it's an important
Or
characteristic.
he like just inherited it from his mother or something, you know, like something like that. But yeah, I think it's because that was the thing, right? Like he in the comic, like he came from his family. He didn't really just build it up from nothing, kind of thing, right? Like
his father was somebody,
and his mom was somebody too. So, all around, super excited every time I see a trailer for this movie. I cannot wait for it. You know, just can't wait.
Same. That's what I'm saying. July is going to be an awesome month.
I did put on I'm gonna rewatch all the original Superman movies, so I put the first one on last night, and I don't know if I probably talked about it on here before, but it starts off with a child reading a comic book, that first one, and so like it says 1938, and then it's like a stage, and they're opening a comic book and explaining the story of Superman to you before you watch so they're assuming people that went to go watch a Superman movie didn't know anything about Superman.
Yeah.
So, and then like he's opening the comic book, and then the frame of the comic turns into the live action Daily Planet, which is really dope. And I really hope that they do something similar to that with this movie. I like James Gunn might, you never know, but I think it's such a cool thing to maybe tribute or something. But I always thought that was cool that they always open that movie up with a comic book opening.
So I like the Marvel Studios intro. Like it's become iconic over the years.
Yeah, that they changed with Thunderbolts, right? That changed this.
Well, they change it every movie, but like it's still within the iconography of what it's always been. But yeah, it did change a little bit. But for DC, and I thought Marvel, if they did this too, but like do your logo and then have it somehow like open up as a comic.
Yeah,
go in, and then that's like the start of your movies.
Yeah,
and you do that for every movie. Yes. Like that'd be that's a cool visual.
I mean, this is the first James Gunn like spearheaded thing, right? I mean, he's directing, so maybe hopefully we'll get a new intro logo thing. I would hope. I don't know.
Well, I can't remember what the intro was for Creature Commandos, because I feel like that's probably what we're gonna get.
Yeah, I don't remember either. I forgot about Creature Commandos. Yeah. Yeah, it's exciting stuff. Either way. Okay, comic book news. Marvel announced the following Jonathan Hickman and Ivan Coelho's Imperial series will be set of 5 one-shot comics under the Imperial War banner. Starting with Imperial War, Black Panther from writers Victor Laval and Jonathan Hickman with artist Kafu. This one is the Intergalactic Empire of Wakanda is under fire from all sides in Imperial War Black Panther, blamed for the assassinations that have started an all-out galactic war with T'Challa, with first need to survive a brutal assault from the Worldbreaker Hulk and Amadeus Cho, before he can even think about hunting down the true culprit, and all while the spacecraft spirals towards certain doom. Sounds like another day at the office for Black Panther. Something are you going to be reading all this Imperial War stuff?
Yeah, I like the Marvel Galactic stuff. I always have. I always talk about Conquest. I always talk about Conquest, the big event from back in the day that's happening around the same time as Civil War, being like an iconic Marvel comic series for me. So to see Hickman kind of jumping in this and creating something that he promises is going to change the Galactic Marvel forever, I'm here for. It's the main series is 4 issues. It seems like it's going to be the impetus for this new thing. And even though some of the characters aren't necessarily characters I connect to that side of Marvel, I am still here to check it all out. And that is assuming that Imperial is something good. Like, I think by the time these are solicited, I should have at least the first issue of Imperial, so I should have an idea of what I'm in for here. But yeah, as of right now, I would say these are all on the pull list.
Yeah. The next one being Imperial War, Planet She-Hulk, from writers Stephanie Phillips, wow, and Jonathan Hickman, artist Emilio Laso. I just want to say, we had Stephanie Phillips on before she was writing for Marvel, and she's a great person. She's awesome. I'm so glad that she's getting work and getting to write alongside Jonathan Hickman. What the hell? That's so awesome. That's amazing. Good for her. A brutal war of succession ignites in Imperial War. Planet She-Hulk left behind a new Sakaar to keep the peace. Jen Walters discovers that in the Savage Realm, what's needed isn't an instigator, it's a liquidator. Fortunately, She-Hulk is accomplished at being both. So that's dope. I do like the design of She-Hulk with a giant sword. That's pretty badass.
Yeah, that's straight out of Planet Hulk back in the day.
Yeah.
If nobody's read that series, it's really good, and it's what the fourth Thor movie was based on.
Yep.
So I just want to say first, I'm pretty sure once we're probably going to be talking about all these one shots as they are announced.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like Hickman's name's attached to all of them. So that being said, I feel like this is Hickman wrote Imperial. He probably wrote a guide for the Imperial War one shots.
Mm-hmm.
So his name will be attached to all of these. But you could really probably just say that Stephanie Phillips and Victor Laval wrote these, to be fair.
Right. Yeah, pretty much.
He just gave them the guide for where these characters are going.
Yeah.
And then there's probably going to be a series called Imperial War, blah, 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 down the line.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool to see Planet Hulk back in the mix once again. I will just say the last time they did Planet Hulk stuff, it was with the original creator and it wasn't so great. But once again, I'm here for it. These are two characters I don't care too much about as a fan, but I just want to see where the story goes. It sounds really, really fun.
Yeah, no, it does.
Yeah.
DC announced a new Superman Black Label comic from the creators of Ice Cream Man. Wow. W. Maxwell Prince, Martin Morazzo, and Chris O'Halloran, titled Superman: The Kryptonite Spectrum. I don't even need to read anymore. I'm sold. Black Label book, Superman related, Ice Cream Man creators. I'm fucking sold. Across the 5 innovative issues, Superman must look inward to find strength in his most famous weakness. Each issue promises to explore different facets of Superman's character, mythos, and moral core, while bending narrative form in ways only Prince, Morazzo, and O'Halloran can. While Ice Cream Man became a cult favorite for its surreal, often harrowing dive into horror and existential dread, the new Superman title marks a bold departure, skewing horror in favor of introspective, fun, genre-fluid storytelling. That sounds crazy. I do. So, it's funny because, like, when we see Black Label, we immediately think, like, oh, this is going to be a hardcore, gory adult book. But also, this is another way to stretch that creative muscle of, like, we're going to do something that would never be in the mainstream. And we're going to just go for it. And I think that's really cool. And I really like that cover. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm with you. I feel like Black Label became the can I make a dark Batman book that won't fit in continuity for a long time?
Yes, exactly.
And we've seen, and I guess this kind of fits with that Plastic Man book too, but we've seen them really pushing out to other characters. And now with this Summer Superman thing coming, they seem to be wanting to greenlight a lot of Superman stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not familiar with Ice Cream Man. I know you're a huge fan of that series.
Yeah.
But I think this book looks really great. I love their art style. It kind of reminds me of All-Star Superman.
Yeah, it really
in terms
does.
of how the art
the art looks amazing. Yeah.
And then if you look in further into the article, or I should say the release that DC put out, say they're using unique voice in comics to tell a soup's yarn that's both strange and timeless. That's a stupid way to put that.
Yeah.
Out there and totally grounded. You might know what green, red, and black kryptonite does to Superman. But what about purple, cobalt, or speckled kryptonite?
Hell yeah.
Dude, yeah, give me, I don't care. Give me freaking rainbow kryptonite.
Yeah,
like, I want all of it. I want to see what happens. This sounds like a ton of fun.
Yeah, this sounds wild. It's like in the first few pages they show there's just a meteor full of all different kryptonite, and he's gonna like try them out or some shit.
Yeah, it's insane. And
yeah,
some of the covers are crazy. but I think the art looks phenomenal.
Yeah, the one by Juan Ferreira, oh my god, is insane with all the different faces.
Oh yeah,
and then the one by Wes Craig, all of them are amazing. Like
the Wes Craig one is like the Superman of my nightmares.
yeah, that is like yeah,
like that's the Superman horror book I would want to make right there with that art style.
Yeah, it's insane. He's Wes Craig, co-creator of Deadly Class, so big
That
name
makes
there.
sense.
Yeah. This is really exciting. Now something I would and like we both kind of said it's usually the dark gritty stuff that goes to Black Label. So, this is cool to take like, hey, we know this team of guys has taken Ice Cream Man and made it this ongoing, I don't know, 40 plus issue series in Image, which you don't see. You see Image try to force that with series, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, why not just let them do their thing? And like they probably said, well, what character do you want? Superman. Okay, well you can do whatever you want in a Black Label book, so go for it.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool. DC Comics, Image Comics, and Ghost Machine have announced a variant cover swap upcoming comics Geiger 19, which will be drawn by Jim Lee, and Batman 163, which will be drawn by Gary Frank. This is a lot of fun. I think this is a cool thing to announce, right?
Yeah, and this is, I mean, it's old DC guys at Ghost Machine, so there's a relationship there. But it's a cool way to show respect to each and to also do something fun that'll bring. I mean, honestly, it's going to bring more notice to Geiger than Batman.
Yeah,
let's
it really
be honest.
is. Yeah,
but,
people are probably like, "What's a Geiger?" Yeah. Both the covers look amazing.
But yeah, I'll bet you Jeff Johns and the crew called up Jim for a variant.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, hey, we'd like you to do a variant for blah, blah, blah. And Jim was like, well, yeah, do that. And then what if, because I think 163 is the last issue of Batman Hush 2.
Okay.
I could be way off on that, but I think it is. What if we got one of your guys to do a variant for, last issue of my series, and then they brought Gary Frank, who was a long-time DC guy.
Yeah.
So I think both of the covers look really cool, and I love the idea. Like, definitely. I think more creators should be doing this outside of big two stuff to promote each other.
No, I think that's really cool for the comic community to jump over. Or they're like, hey, we know Gary Frank's not doing an issue that month now, so we're not giving him a month off. Come on. No, I think that's really cool. And you can see both covers they talked about. They both look amazing. They're both very similar, too. Image Comics announced a new series from Rick Remender and artist Daniel Acuna titled Escape, set in a brutal, fully painted world of anthropomorphic animals. Think Inglourious Bastards meets Black Sand. Escape is a gritty, bullet-riddled journey through war's scorched aftermath. It's about the violence we inflict, the souls we try to save, and the courage it takes to crawl out of the fire. Yeah. I think you could just see this cover and you're probably sold, right?
Oh yeah.
Like, anthropomorphic, like World War II guy. I'm a huge Rick Remender fan. I'm definitely checking this book out. These covers are absolutely gnarly. It's like it looks like World War II dogfights with actual dogs.
The second cover, which is kind of like a Japanese World War II look, is my favorite.
Yeah, they're amazing. These are they're like trench warfare, but they're dogs, they're cats, they're bats. Yeah.
I listened to a couple of interviews with Remender, and through that, like, I've always liked Remender.
Yeah.
But I fell in love with him through those because he's this really interesting dude that has this really like indie punk rock spirit to him. Mm-hmm. And I saw this book and immediately was down for it. It sounds like a cool premise. And Daniel Acuna, who did the Captain America Twilight Avenger, whatever the thing he did with Chip was. Mm-hmm. He's done a few things at Marvel too. Great artist. Highly recommend him. So, yeah, this will probably be a pickup for me.
Yeah.
And just when you bring up Inglourious Bastards, like I'm here for it.
Yeah. And kind of like straying, I mean, I guess it's a little sci-fi because of the anthropomorphic people, but he's more of a sci-fi guy. I've always seen him as Remender, at least.
Remender, yeah. Even when he was doing stuff at Marvel, it was very sci-fi. Like I remember his Captain America run. He went to Dimension Z and put Captain America in this futuristic post-apocalyptic war zone. So, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up being like the distant future on Earth. You know, like animals come and now we're like reliving history through like
possibly because that main cover, it looks like almost maybe some sort of New York bridge.
Yeah,
that's falling apart behind him.
Yeah, really cool. A lot of good news this week for comics. Mad Cave Studios announced that they're publishing another collection of Comixology original with Breaklands Volume 1. Breaklands written by Justin Jordan, art by Taya Seta. Mad Max meets Akira in a future where history was reshaped by godlike physics. Casa Fane is the only girl in the world without a power of her own. When her brother's kidnapped, she's going to need to use everything she has to get him back. So this is cool that they're still printing these books. I never read this one. Did you ever check this one out?
I read the first couple issues and I fell off.
Okay.
Just because there's so much going on. It was really good. Justin Jordan did a book I really loved that everybody really loved, and I'm going to look it up as I vamp right now.
Yeah, he Luthor Strode. Right?
Luthor Strode.
Yeah.
He infinitely has my respect after Luthor Strode. That is such a good book. If you've never read it, I cannot recommend it enough. But this one's really cool. It's got the art has a style to it, so I would definitely check it out because it might not be for everybody. But I think it's really cool. It's got a lot of action, and it kind of it has a similar feel to Luthor Strode, but it has a completely different tone.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Cool.
So,
yeah,
now that's coming out as a complete trade. I'll probably check it out that way.
Yeah, that's awesome. Mad Cave announces another book, a new series titled Orla, from writer John Lees and artist Sally Cantorino. Orla Bard is an antique restorer, romance novel enjoyer, and keen birder. She also believes in true love, continuing to navigate Seattle's singles scene, despite repeated disappointment, but Orla has a secret. She's afflicted with the ick. I love this. These covers are insane too. I mean, this sounds like a lot of fun. It's just a play on the ick, which it actually is a man eating a monster. I think that's hilarious. Yeah, good. I mean, this seems like a Mad Cave book, right? Like they're taking a chance with something cool like this.
I'm taking a shot at something. I got kind of the opposite reaction of you. I thought it was a little cringe when I was reading it, but
yeah, it seems like fun.
But yeah, like I'm not gonna judge anybody for that's just my taste and my style. I probably will not be looking at this one, and the art was good. Not the best. I think the next one has cooler art personally, but also the next one fits more my style in terms of art.
Yeah, I like that. There's that cover B with like the half woman, half monster thing is really cool. Like the scratches out of the cover. Mad Cave again. One more book announced this week. Announces a new series titled Zero from writer Vaho, artist Felipe Flores. The adventures of Zero center on his search for his half-forgotten and pregnant girlfriend Donna. What's worse is that he's stuck in a doomed reality. He doesn't even know he's trapped in a subterranean mall designed to incubate humans until they are sacrificed. As Zero pursues Donna, he unravels a monstrous conspiracy spanning back before an apocalypse he does not know even happened. Zero discovers that his life in the endless mall is really just a waiting game in a sacrificial bubble. His plunge down the rabbit hole will lead him further away from his droll, comfortable life and challenge him to fight against the megastructure and the malevolent forces behind it. Yeah, sounds dope. The art looks pretty cool. Some of the pages they're shared looks like a classic comic from like what's that, Transmet? Kind of looks like Transmet to me.
Yeah, I can see it a little bit.
Yeah, looks dope.
So this one it seems more my style in terms of what they're going for. It has a cool premise to it. I always like the idea of somebody waking up and the Matrix, somebody realizing the reality around them.
Mm-hmm.
But what pulled me in was the art. I can see that trend's
really
mad. It's got a very pop art, classic comics style art that I think sucks me in enough to want to try it.
Yeah.
But this is and it's interesting because this is Veho, the writer. It's his first ever comic. So
oh wow, that's cool.
Debut for him.
Yeah, good for him. Yeah, and that pop comic style is really cool. Yeah, that art's amazing.
I think this is a graphic novel. I think in the notes I wrote it as a series. Cool. It's a graphic novel.
That's cool.
So
it's really cool.
I was realizing that as you were talking, I wrote it down wrong.
Look at Mad Cave. Mad Cave is kind of hitting all the stops here. They got they're publishing Comixology originals. They're doing this Orla Bard Orla book, and then they have this original graphic novel. Like, yeah, Mad Cave's just doing all this crazy stuff. Good on them.
Their manga's starting to come out too. At least to people like you and I.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see them doing manga stuff here soon. It's funny, and we talked about it when we talked to one of the higher ups there on the show. They're bigger than I thought they were, than either of us thought they were.
Yeah.
And just the kid imprint they do. Like, dude, if I get emails from them about what they're releasing through Mad Cave, for every 1-0 announcement I get, I probably get 4 or 5 about kids comics coming out, whether that's David Pose's book or they publish the Smurf comics.
That's
and
awesome.
All this, they're gigantic.
Yep.
So it's cool that they're that big and they're still taking shots on books like Zero and Orla.
Yeah, it's really cool. They're doing stuff like that. They have an avenue for it. All right, folks, let's talk about what we read this week. Some comics. I have Star Trek Red Shirts on my list. I have not read it yet. It is on my list from what you told me to read. And let's see, where should we start? Probably Geiger, number 14. Did you read that this week?
Not yet.
Okay. This is the big fight, the big reveal that the girl's bad, and there's a big fight happening, and then the nuke is about to go off. And it's just really, there's just a fight in the issue. Nothing really happens. They are kind of hinting at that, like, if the nuke goes off, maybe I'm wondering if like Geiger will absorb it and like cure him or something, or like make him more stable. But we'll see. It's just a big fight issue. A lot of plot exposition of like what the plan actually was, and so Geiger's still good. Oh, and there's some stuff going on with Junkyard Joe. Like his handler shows up, and there's some development stuff there. So, new Mark Millar book this week. So we had Huck, Big Bad World, number 1. Mark Millar, Raphael Albuquerque doing the art. So this is cool. This is just like the Huck universe book of like, okay, we know Huck is a soup. We know his mom is a soup and how she became a soup. But this guy shows up at Huck's mom's door and is like, hey, I know there's more people in the world with powers, and I want you to help me find them. And they didn't know that. Like, they've always thought that was just them. So that was kind of cool. And then Huck is like pursuing this girl from the last series, and she's kind of just gone back with her ex, and he's like really heartbroken about that. So I think they're just trying to tie up the plot so he can go look for other superheroes. Not a bad start. I like the character a lot. Absolute Batman number 8.
Mr. Freeze.
Hell yeah. This is a really good issue. Batman has the big fight with the evil monster Freeze. He's trying to like freeze him, and he breaks out. But the crazy part is that the development for Mr. Freeze was he put some sort of like DNA genetic tracer in the snow in Gotham, and it starts when it lands on you. It must find some sort of metagene that it exploits, because like they're identifying people in Gotham to use for the Arc M program, and when when Batman starts to try to warn his friends, we see that Waylon Jones, aka Killer Croc, who's not Killer Croc yet, gets picked up and sent to Arkham. So I believe all his friends are going to be turned into the villains that we know, which is a cool way to go about it. Yeah, this book is wild. Like what they've started here is kind of cool, and I really like that take on Mr. Freeze. I thought it was like terrifying.
I wonder about that because I almost think it'd be more interesting to make Killer Croc somebody that helps Batman.
Yeah,
as opposed
that'd
to
be
a
cool.
villain.
Yeah.
They're friends already, unless that whatever they do to him like
makes him into a
destroys his
monster.
mind or something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it would almost be more interesting to make him like the Thing is to Mr. Fantastic, where maybe Batman has this guilt about it, where it wants to save him throughout it and everything.
That would be cool to see him team up with Killer. I would love that shit. Him and Killer Croc together. Yeah, that'd be dope.
And then next issue, Bane.
Oh yeah, it's coming.
Yeah.
So I can't wait for that. Yeah, Absolute Batman's been great.
So good.
Yeah, it's really good. Aquaman number 5.
Oh yeah.
Aquaman meeting up with Captain Nemo. I guess he's there you go. He must be in out of trademark. You could use Captain Nemo for stuff. It must
be public domain.
Yeah, it must be in public domain. It must be from hundreds of years ago. You have to look that up because Aquaman works with Captain Nemo in this issue, and I was like, oh wow, that's the Captain Nemo of the old school stories. Oh, okay, so
yes, Captain Nemo, the character from Jules Verne's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, is in public domain.
That's wild. Yeah, so that's where they find him. 20,000 Leagues. He's still there. He hasn't left. So that was cool. They're going to go find Mara. They're in this like town, like city that's like underwater, but they don't use water. And there's some sort, the king is ruling with like an iron fist, and so they're, they break out, they get the ship, and now they're going to go find Mara. But it seems like he's done something to Mara already. We don't really know, so I guess we'll wait and see.
Yeah, I'm wondering what that is. Like, I think he has some sort of mind meld with her or something.
Yeah.
I'll say, because you said everything pretty well. I thought the action was great. I love the issue.
Yeah, it was great.
The character design for Captain Nemo was really cool, too. It
was really dope. Yeah.
I thought they did a great job of introducing him to this world, making him seem like he fit really well.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, this Aquaman run's really good. We're only 5 issues in, but a lot of fun. 2 Godzilla books this week, folks. If you can believe it. We got Godzilla vs. X-Men number 1, which
came out.
Yeah, it was all. It's all about comic book science, and basically the X-Men use Cerebro. So they had this thing called the Adaptoid that like uses all the X-Men powers. So Professor X has everybody tap into Cerebro, and that when they power this android, the Adaptoid, it gets all the powers of the X-Men. And then they grab some Pym particles to make a giant Adaptoid that has all the powers of the X-Men to fight Godzilla. So they're fighting, but then we find out Japan has been building this mixed mecha kaiju from all the other villains of Godzilla dying. So they release this kaiju that's a mix of Biollante, Batra, and Fire Rodan. And so then, of course, the X-Men and Godzilla turn to fight that instead. It's just every issue is a big fight. It's a lot of fun to see how the characters come together, and yeah, that's all it is. It's really cool. Highly recommend these issues. This is what comic books is all about, people.
I talked about a comic shop. I wasn't with my books this week.
Yeah, pretty sure I had it digitally, so I think it came out this week. Yeah.
I'll actually check.
Maybe it was delayed in print or something, but the other Godzilla book I had, Godzilla Here There Be Aliens, number 1.
Oh, let me cut in here real quick. Yeah, it's on our list. Okay. So I actually finished Godzilla Here There Be Dragons 2, Son of Giants.
Hell yeah. Okay, so give me the lowdown.
Really great, like, not a whole lot if you want a lot of kaiju, not a whole lot of kaiju.
No, it's not a whole lot,
but it's a lot of the backstory of where they live inside the world as a mythology,
Mm-hmm.
almost as gods. And I thought it was a really cool way to present that story after the first arc, where it was straight Godzilla the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And having like X presence is involved with it, having the Louisiana Purchase as part of the story.
Yeah, that was pretty dope.
As somebody that like enjoys history, it was really cool. And then I also read Here There Be Aliens, so you can go ahead.
Hell yeah. So I thought it was a great issue. Almost like, so it's funny because like the FBI guy gets laughed at in the meeting trying to push this theory that Godzilla's real. And there's a secret society behind Godzilla, which we know from the previous series. But then Godzilla shows up and they want his help. And then he gets captured by that lady who's like the head of Monarch, right? And they're taking him to Area 51 because they say that Godzilla is after the aliens. So that's why he's there and attacking. And then we find out the FBI director is actually an alien in disguise. So, great. I think it was a great setup. And now we're like moved so far beyond the other books to get here, which is really cool. I think they've done such a great job with how like they build upon each series of the last one. I thought that's really cool.
Yeah, and once again, if you're like me and you enjoy history, and in this case, what I like to refer to as classic conspiracy theories.
Yeah, the blue book. Yeah,
ones that didn't really hurt anybody.
Yep.
It all falls into that realm of 1950s political theater and history coming right out of World War II, which is right where Godzilla belongs, and things like Area 51 as a conspiracy theory, all tied into one. I loved it. It was a great first issue, and I'm so glad I caught up with the series to
read this. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's really cool. Yeah, it's a really cool. Frank Thierry's doing a great job.
Yeah, and he has a new book coming out this week that everybody should check out.
Oh yeah,
Where is Crimson Dynamo?
Yes,
or whatever happened to Crimson.
Whatever
Dynamo,
happened to it.
Yeah.
Okay, this last book that I've ordered some physical issues of. Apparently, the blind bag. I know we talked about the blind bag for Invincible Universe Battle Beast #1. Have you heard what comes in the blind bag?
There's 3 possible things. One is a reprint of the crossover of Spider-Man.
Yep.
One is the first appearance reprint of Battle Beast, and the other is just the cover A of Battle Beast.
But there's some that have issue 2 already.
That's what it is. The third one's issue 2. Yeah.
Yeah, which is like, that's wild that you can get that. So I bought a blind bag one and I bought a regular one. I thought it was a great first issue. It's crazy to be reading Invincible again. This kind of takes place in the middle of the Invincible timeline, I think, right? So we're kind of like...
Yeah, I couldn't tell you exactly where, but it's after one of the battles with Battle Beast.
He just gets blipped onto this spaceship with this AI that's killed everybody in the spaceship, and he basically says, like, I want to challenge everybody who's the strongest, and the AI is like, oh, so you want me to find somebody that can kill you? Perfect. Okay, I'll do that. We get a little bit of the origin of him, which, it's not anything special. It's Battle Beast has battled everybody on his world, and he had nobody else to battle. He was very self-aware that if he kept going, he would just destroy his whole city that he started. So, yeah, I think it's really great, and that whole battle with if each issue's some, like, him fighting some monstrosity, that whole world we went to with this guy trapped on it was amazing. So, and now they're starting to build some characters to tag along with him. I think it was a really fun first issue.
Yeah, it's a great first issue, and I think Kirkman fell right back into writing Invincible.
Yeah,
because if you read Invincible, which I know you have, Mike, but
yeah,
it's him kind of picking fun at superhero comics throughout it, and he does all the tropes.
Yep.
And somebody else becomes invincible at one point. Invincible dies. All these things that you see in superhero comics, he's poking fun at. And he does that in this too with the origin, because he even says in there, like, well, if I don't tell it over and over again, then I'll forget, and then everybody will forget.
Yeah.
And it made me laugh as somebody that's like, if he had just done the origin and moved on, I would have been like, I didn't need that.
Right, but it was really funny for him.
But because he did it that way, I was like, perfect. Yeah. That's the Invincible way to tell the origin story. Do it. Yeah, it is a great issue. I love seeing Ryan Otley art. and
Yeah, seeing
anywhere I
him
can
back.
find it. So
Yep, seeing him back doing Battle Beast was amazing.
yeah, and as much as I loved Otley coming to Marvel and doing some interesting things, if Otley's art isn't surrounded by obscene amounts of blood, it loses a little something.
It doesn't hit the same. Yeah, for sure.
But great, dude. I was so hyped for this book, and I know you were too. And I think it lived up to that hype.
It did, and what a time to have Invincible on TV, Battle Beast. And it's so funny because I remember when we read Invincible, like, man, I wish we had a Battle Beast comic. Like, why don't we have a battle? Well, here it is, folks. Several years. I mean, man, wow, it's 10 years later.
And this got me primed to reread Invincible. I still have those compendiums, the hardcover compendiums they put out, still in their plastic. But that needs to happen.
Yeah, you gotta reread it. Yeah. That's all I got to this week, Chris.
I just had a couple more. So actually, everything else I read was from previous weeks, minus a Kickstarter book we'll talk about. But Ultimate Wolverine #5 came out last week, and this is Sabretooth's story. So we find out that Logan and Sabretooth fought together in a war, and they were buds. And Logan had some sort of feeling that something was going to happen to him, like become part of the this program. And they send Wolverine to kill Sabretooth because Sabretooth is helping mutant refugees, get out of Russia.
Okay.
And there's a big fight between the two. And Sabretooth actually wins in a way. But somebody else shows up, none other than the Black Widow, to help out as well. So a lot of good action here. I like these two characters coming together in different roles this time. And I'm interested to see because now Sabretooth is like, he promised Logan at one point, if they do this to me, you are to kill me. I don't want to be under someone's control. And Sabretooth goes, yeah, I promise you that. And then when it comes down to it, he's just like, I can't. Like, this is my brother in arms. Like, we know I can't do this. I have to save him. So I'll be interested to see where that leads. You talked about this last week, but Absolute Superman #7, straight horror book. It was awesome. I love this version of Brainiac. And I'm not going to claim to have come up with this because I heard somebody talking about it on a different thing. It feels like they turned Brainiac into Superman's Joker. In a way.
That's a really cool. Yeah.
And when I heard that, it clicked. And I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what Jason Aaron did. Like, he turned him into this psychopath.
Which is awesome.
I'll be interested to see what happens here moving forward with Brainiac. I also would say if you're squeamish in any way, there's some pretty gruesome moments in this book.
Yeah.
Stuff I've never seen in anything. And I'm not a huge horror guy, but I would be surprised if a lot of people have done this in any kind of live action in the past.
Yeah, especially like a mainstream book like this, too.
Yeah, it's ballsy. Very ballsy. So, the Absolute books continue to be awesome. Thunderbolts Doom Strike #3.
Nice.
So, Bucky's new version of the Thunderbolts, they're trying to take down Doom, have to fight the original Thunderbolts that Doom has taken control of in this issue. And they're fighting in a vibranium mine.
Okay.
So there's a lot going on here. It's a big, bad superhero fight throughout the issue. And it ends with the original Thunderbolts winning and taking Bucky hostage. And when he wakes up, he's in Castle Doom with Dr. Doom. Or at least we think that's where he is. Doom's not known for like Doom bots or anything like that, Mike.
Yeah, nothing like that.
So obviously, I think next issue is the last issue of this series, and I think it's been a really cool send off for Kelly and Lanzig with the Thunderbolts because obviously it seems like they're not doing them anymore. And then my last one's a Kickstarter book from our good friend Travis Gibb.
Nice.
Upheaval #1. Pretty good first issue for a superhero, but it is a first issue for a superhero, so it's all set up. It's all, hey, this is what happened to this girl, what her mission is, why she's doing what she's doing, and giving you some good. He does a good job of not dwelling on the backstory too much and giving you moments because she goes on a mission in this issue where you see what her power set is and where her limitations lie. So good first issue. We'll see where they go moving forward with it, but I enjoyed what I read of that one.
Cool.
So, Mike, that is everything I read this week. Where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at Fortress Ricker on Twitter/X. Where can they find you, Ender the show?
You can find me on Substack at chriscomicscorner.substack.com or on social media, whether that's X, Blue Sky, or whatever you choose, at Fortress Chris. And you can find the show at Fortress Pod on X and other social media networks, as well as fortresscomicnews.com. If you want to support the show, best ways to do it: 5-star reviews in the podcatchers. Like, subscribe, share, comment down below on the YouTube version that you're watching on YouTube right now. And also patreon.com/Fortress Comics. So thank y'all so much for watching and or listening this week. We'll see y'all here. Well, I will see you all here next week. Mike is taking a week off.
Taking a week off.
I'll have a very special guest host for you next week.
Hell yeah.
Bye, everybody.